What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and I hope this take isn't... I don't feel like it's that spicy, but it seems like you have to kind of chop through the marketing wonk and the virtue signaling to kind of understand where I'm coming from. Today, Phil Spencer, leader of Xbox, put out a blog post, which we're going to address in a second. But I believe, and I'm curious if you agree or disagree here, I believe that fundamentally there is a difference between somebody who plays video games and somebody who is a gamer. Now, I don't want to argue semantics specifically, but I feel like words have meanings, and gamer has been around a lot longer than its current use, which is like this blanket for anyone who's played video games. Being a gamer started way earlier, okay? Nintendo, PlayStation or Super Nintendo, N64. This is a word used to describe the dedicated, the hardcore. I don't believe that it has any particular gender to it. So Phil Spencer and I agree on that. I think a man, a boy, and a girl, or anything in between can be a gamer. All right? Anyone who disagrees with that is just, in my opinion, just wrong. I think the generally accepted definition of gamer is somebody who has a dedication to gaming, someone who is in it for the love of it, and not someone here to like leech on it or write blog posts and push politics. Or it's also just not somebody who casually plays video games. There's absolutely nothing wrong with playing casual video games. Let me give you a perfect example. My wife plays Candy Crush almost every single night before bed. She would tell you she's not a gamer. She just plays video games. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no negative connotation to that. But the problem is how the word bends, shapes, and is used to both disparage and prop up however people see fit groups of people. You see this article from Game Informer already. Xbox head Phil Spencer addresses toxicity in gaming and outlines a plan to combat it. All right, and so you already can imagine the amount of woke articles that are going to come out, culminating ultimately into how this is a white male problem, because we know that that's what's going to happen. But rather than focusing on the hot takes, I want to start with the actual take of Phil Spencer, which was published today. An article titled "Video Games: A Unifying Force for the World." Now, I think this is a little bit, idealistic, but fine. I'm not gonna, it's a headline, okay? Starts the article talking about him and his father, how they bonded over their first computer and even writing code. The first computer was a Sinclair ZX81. That's even before my time. I don't think I had my first computer until they were out to, I think, a 386, which was probably in the early 90s. And he starts off with the statement, first, gaming is for everybody. No one owns gaming. Instead, whether you're new to a gaming or a diehard esports fan, you are welcome to play and welcome to all the fun. I agree. I think this is a very wholesome take. Phil, good take. I agree with you. Skill building that comes with gaming. In this way, when everyone can play, the entire world wins. I agree. Everyone should be able to play games, and I'm glad that there's, in 2019, we have companies that are helping serve. Microsoft does do some good things for people that are disabled, people who are blind. All these people are now experiencing video games in ways that they just never could before. I think that's an amazing thing. They go on to say, if you imagine gamers as, here we go, predominantly men and specifically teen boys, think again. We are 2.6 billion person strong community of parents playing with our kids, adventurers exploring worlds together, teachers making math wondrous, grandmothers learning about their grandchildren through play. Okay, most gamers today are adults. Nearly half are all women. I don't believe you. Now, I know it's a nitpick, okay? But it's important to me because words have meaning. Most people that play video games are adults, nearly half of women. That is a statement that, first of all, I would like to see backed up with some statistics, but one that I think I would accept on face value. But also you look at how people self-identify. We're talking about a huge chunk of people that play Candy Crush and all these other type of mobile games. If you asked them on the street if they thought they were a gamer, they would tell you they're not. Now, I don't know if it's necessarily important. I don't care if somebody thinks I'm a gamer or not. I take some weird issue with that. None of which has anything to do with somebody's gender or, where they're from in the world. It's about the commitment. It's about the love of the game. But then things take a turn. Second, gaming must promote and protect the safety of all. No, it shouldn't. I disagree with this entirely. Gaming should be entertaining, and that's where its requirement ends. Gaming must be a safe environment. Creating a community is shared work, and protecting community is essential work. So we all carry part of the payload of this community. Again, community is a tough word for me to get behind. I know it can be used in good ways, but it can also be used in an exclusionary factor. Let me give you an example. Oh, this dude, he's not a part of our, Jeremy, he's not a part of the real Magic the Gathering community. We're a community, but he's not a part of it, right? Gaming's the same way. Oh, if you say spicy things online, you're not a part of our community. Well, like it or not, they generally are. Now, here's where things get a little annoying. The widespread embrace of gaming and its global communities has turned video games into the world's leading cultural industry, bigger than movies or music. But it also comes at a time when digital life includes a growing stew of hate speech, bigotry, and misogyny. What is even hate speech? Offensive words? Sorry, I'm not sorry I offended you. This is right where you draw the line. When you're going to be worried about this crap, this is right where I draw the line. Phil Spencer, you're not a gamer. You may be the CEO of Xbox, but gamers don't worry about this. Most video games, for example, I got 60 hours into Dragon Quest XI over the last 4 weeks. I've never talked to a single other person. Have I not been gaming? At what point would I have run into bigotry? No different than from rock and roll, my fellow youths. Books and TV before them, video games are often dismissed or maligned as frivolous. They are frivolous. Fraught with violence or filled with exclusively with hate-mongering. By who? What? But gaming is uniquely designed for equality. We don't just walk in someone else's shoes, we stand on equal footing, regardless of age, education, socioeconomics, race, a bunch of other buzzwords. BuzzFeed. Ironic. Gaming doesn't just bring the stereotype defying gamers together. It unites us under our universal language of fun and answers our human need to play. Research has shown an effective way to battle polarization and prejudice is through relationships with people outside of our own groups, known as intergroup contact theory. This is where gaming excels, forging unexpected friendships with people we might never meet in real life. Okay, yes, but this ignores the bad. In order to meet a few good people, you're going to meet some bad people. That's how real world is. If you think everybody you meet on the block is going to be all nice and kind and want to talk to you, I don't know what world you're from. To expect that out of the gaming community is also absurd. When people call video games a waste of time, I point them to well-documented health and social benefits of gaming. Beyond pure exhilaration, gaming helps children with autism. Oh my, let's pump the brakes on you saving the world, Phil. Let's pump the brakes on that. Yes, I think escapism is extremely important for humans and probably in the animal kingdom too. Obviously, animals play. But there are many ways to enjoy relaxing and relaxation without having an Xbox. Many people camp. People go fishing, people go to theme parks, people spend time with their family, people go to carnivals, people go to air shows. None of these involve video games, okay? So let's pump the brakes on the savior complex, Phil. I continue. It teaches kids computational skills and empathy. Gaming is just the gateway to these 21st century skills. People have been feeling empathy a lot longer than video games have been around. And to STEM, just consider, teen girls who play video games are 3 times more likely to pursue STEM degree. Among teenagers who play games online with others daily, 74% have made friends online and 37% have made more than 5 friends online. Okay, whoa. Causation does not imply correlation. Am I saying that right? I'm not saying that right. You get what I mean. The fact that teen girls who play video games are 3 times more likely to pursue STEM has nothing to do with video games. It has everything to do with what they find personally stimulating. That'd be like saying 80% of girls that go to science camp are more likely to pursue STEM. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the way that their mind. I don't think that video games, there's no saying that video games is causing it, but I feel like that's what Phil's implying here. So he goes on. We commit to be vigilant, proactive, and swift. We commit to empowering you, safeguarding your gaming experience. What if I don't want it to be safe? This is the problem I have with the monopoly that exists, and this is why I am actually very happy that Google Stadia is going to be at least a possible contender. I don't want Xbox or PlayStation protecting me. I want them providing me the highest quality graphics and the best video game experience possible. I don't care if I run into some jerk online. I don't blame Xbox or PlayStation for that. I blame the other person for that. I don't want you to protect me. While I'm at it, why don't you get rid of always online DRM? Why don't you let the people who buy the games own the games? And of course, this will get spun into, again, addressing toxicity. Spencer delves into content moderation for children and teens, citing workshops and online resources Microsoft has offered to parents looking to protect their kids from adult content and online harassment. How about personal responsibility? How about parents not expecting their video games to be their babysitter, and they just, why don't you spend time with your kids teaching them how to deal with this stuff? Xbox's supposed willingness to share its safety resources with other tech companies is a good move and continues the trend of Xbox listening to its fans. Toxic culture in games isn't going away anytime soon, but if Spencer promises are followed through, there might be more resources for people to fight it. To say that toxicity or mean people only exist in video games is to ignore everyday life. Xbox isn't saving the world. They're providing a tool for escapism. No different than Nintendo Switch, no different than PlayStation, no different than a bicycle, no different than a fishing rod, no different than a rifle, no different than a bowling ball. All right? You're not saving the world, Phil. And there's a big chunk of people out there that agree with me that we just want you to make the best possible video games. We're not interested in you being our new dads.